Apparently it's 12 Los Angeles time, which means it will be 9 a.m. South African time tomorrow.
Okay, I can give the judgment at 8:30.
We worked with you along the route. We are now ready to publish, and you should not be allowed to stop us from publishing.
Hi, welcome or welcome back. Everyone following this channel will know by now that the Netflix documentary Beauty and the Bester is supposed to air tomorrow. My plan was actually to stay up until 12 and then watch the documentary, but with the court hearing today, it came to light that the documentary will only air at 9 o'clock South African time, and we will only know by 8:30 if it will really air in South Africa tomorrow. I watched the court hearing today, so you don't have to. I mean, it was almost 4 hours long. And let's give you a recap. But before that, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Click that notification bell so you're notified of all my new videos. If you like this type of content, please hit the like button and share to everybody you know. So there were actually parts in this court hearing where I almost fell asleep.
If that information is dumped tomorrow, then we know of what we don't know. I don't know anything. We know of what we don't know.
And then there was other parts that I could barely believe my ears.
Because Netflix is a Netherlands company, but we cannot also allow Netflix to come from Netherlands to violate rights of citizens of this country. Because should we allow this broadcast to proceed? We are simply saying an international company can come and violate the rights of our people. I am sorry to say this, but I will have to say it because it's in my mind. We are also having another Jan van Riebeck coming in a camera form, rather than a gun this time. My lady, I will proceed.
It started with a representative for Thabo Bester. He argued that if the Netflix documentary airs, it won't be a fair trial. Thabo Bester should be presumed innocent until proven guilty. In the trailer, they said that Thabo escaped prison. Well, according to the representative, Thabo was not yet found guilty by a court of law, so they were supposed to say alleged escapee and not escaped from prison. But we don't know if there's a disclaimer on the beginning of the documentary stating that all parties should be presumed innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. His next issue was the fact that they interviewed Nandipa's father. And he in one of the clips said, "I cannot imagine my daughter doing such a thing." So now there was an issue with that wording. I cannot imagine my daughter doing such a thing. The big question was all about what is such a thing. So according to the representative, they are implying that Nandipa helped Thabo. Then he went to talk about Judge Cameron, who also featured in the documentary. He said, "This is the most improbable thing I have ever seen as a judge and in my personal life." So now he is, according to Thabo Bester's representative, also implying guilt. I don't fully agree with that statement or the one before about Nandipa's father. According to the Netflix affidavit, the documentary is not about Bester. The focus is on the prison system, social media, GBV, and public safety. So the next point they raised was the name of the documentary, Beauty and the Bester. According to him, Bester is now personified as a beast. That is defamation. So for those of you who needed to Google it, I did it for you. Defamation of character is the publication of false statement that harm a person's reputation. Okay, so now they are afraid that the name of this documentary will harm Thabo's reputation. The documentary is said to actually be a violation of Bester's human rights. There was actually a part in the trailer where Netflix used two different clips and meshed them as one, where someone asked Thabo, and that's a while ago, if he is actually a threat to the community, and another clip where he said, yes, I think I am. So that, according to Thabo Bester's representative, that is wicked craftiness. So according to them, if the documentary airs by tomorrow, That would change public opinion and there will not be a fair trial. So the documentary will most definitely influence the court, because he will then be found guilty in the court of public opinion. And the main plan is they don't want to stop the Netflix documentary according to them. They just want it to be aired after the trial. And if I'm not mistaken, the trial date for Thabo Bester is set on 10 November 2025. It was also mentioned that Netflix did this documentary for their own financial gain without consent. So just then and there, a few bells rang in my head. And I'm just wondering, if Thabo had any financial gain out of this Netflix documentary, would he still wanted to stop the Netflix documentary from airing tomorrow? I think the problem is that Thabo is not gaining financially through this Netflix documentary. But what if we did stuff like that? What doors would we open if we actually did that? Next, we move on to Nandipa Magudamana's representative. And geez, guys, most of the time I did not understand anything at all. And if I checked the chats, I wasn't the only one. So he was also talking about a fair trial, the integrity with her family, friends and colleagues. He was talking a lot about documents going back and forth, and how Nandipa was not granted the right to review or comment or give input into the Netflix documentary. And what I found out with this is that there is a contractual agreement between Nandipa and Storyscope. That's the production company for Netflix. So Nandipa actually agreed to give up personal archived items to be used in the documentary, and she was paid for it. So the argument there was, if the Netflix documentary aired, it will be irreparable harm to her. And next we move on to the Netflix representative. So he actually said it's nonsensical that they think that the documentary implicates her through her father's statement. And also the comment of Judge Cameron, that was just a neutral statement. That statement didn't even say anything about Thabo allegedly or not escaping from prison. Back to the comment of Nandipa's father, the question was if she's an accomplice or a victim. So it's actually a question and not a statement. Here again, there was a lot of talk about the word alleged. And the representative of Netflix said, but the finding of the investigation officer in the bail hearing, and that was presented as evidence, it was supposed to be seen as accurate. Said in paragraph 2 of Nandipa's judgment that Bester escaped. So is it not then just fair that they don't use the word allegedly escaped? And that's his comment, not mine.
And look at how they deal with it. So they've said Thabo Bester escaped from prison. And again, this is a serious court. We are all adults. The man was serving life in prison. He got out of it. He was not released by the system. So he escaped. Let's not play around.
In the bail hearing, they spoke about money that Nandipa distributed. They spoke about the body that she claimed that was then later used. And there were so many media articles. And according to Netflix, they are just saying the same. There's not going to be anything new. And the judge will most certainly not be influenced by the public. He also pushed back on the defamation claim and said that they only repeat the court's ruling. Furthermore, he said that not Thabo or Nandipa had the right to comment before the publishment of the Netflix documentary. They did, however, afford Nandipa the opportunity, but she elected not to. Bester was, however, not even asked. And the fact that there will be irreparable harm done, according to the representative for Netflix, no harm will be done. So we will just have to wait until tomorrow, that's the 12th of September 2025 at 8:30, to see if we can actually watch the documentary at 9. And from my side, that's all for now. Bye.